up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. That is Brett Grosso. This is Locked Up Sports. We have breaking news. Well, it's a day old or so now, but the NBA woke up yesterday. Today, you think we'd be talking about the Knicks and the Celtics. Knicks trying to get off to a big start to the season, but no. There's a gambling scandal, and it's the worst nightmare for a league. Brett, what's up? How you doing?
I'm pretty shocked. I mean, it's one thing when you get this stuff, and like we heard last year, I don't even remember exactly what his name was. It was a guy who, bounced into the league, very minor role player. He's
involved in this too.
Yeah, little stuff. But then all of a sudden, when you hear Chauncey Billups, this guy, we're talking about a Hall of Famer, Naismith Hall of Fame last year, inducted last year, Pistons. We're talking, this is like those guys.
Active coach.
In the press conference the night before, clearly probably knew something, like you don't know nothing.
And Rozier, active roster when they were arrested. They were both arrested, active NBA coach and player.
And the NBA knew about Rozier last year, and they let him continue.
Well, because here's what they did. They couldn't prove it. You're right. And that looks shady. But they couldn't prove it. They don't have, all they can say is he said he was hurt on these days. They can't prove it. No, otherwise, the FBI can go in with the phone taps and the wiretaps and stuff like that, and subpoenas, and they could get him talking about it. That's what happened. The NBA can't do that.
I just don't. I just really don't understand what these guys are thinking. Like, I almost get it with the outside of basketball, like the Chauncey Billups poker stuff. Like, you're a jerk. You want to scam people. You go, whatever. You're hooked up with the mob in that way. But for these guys with the contracts that they have, is this an issue of they got greedy early? Is that what it was early? They got into debt, or is it that they were
I think it's just the junkies, the gambling junkies. Like, it doesn't matter about the money. The fact that he's got $20 million in the bank doesn't matter because he can win $20 million, and it doesn't matter because it's about gambling.
They don't care about that. Yeah, but is it that they started gambling and they got into debt with these guys, and that's where, or is it that they came in and just made a nice offer and they were like, you know what, okay, or they
because Billups was probably a poker player.
Like, if you don't, we're going to do this. Like, which one is it?
Well, a lot of it, I mean, they want, now what they do is they think it's easy free money because you're not fixing the game, right? You're not fixing the game. You're not going to hit your rebounds or your points, rebounds, and assists. And they do the same thing in baseball, right? We had the same thing this year in baseball with a lot of issues. It was the first pitch of the third inning. I'm just going to throw a ball. That doesn't mess with the game at all. That doesn't affect the game at all. I'm going to throw a ball the first pitch of the third inning, guys. Bet on it. And the problem is though, there isn't a massive amount of money coming in on these first pitch of the innings and stuff like that. So there's maybe like, $50,000. Then when the $30,000 comes in, right, from two or three guys out of nowhere, and an hour before the game, it raises red flags. And then they investigate it. They see it's either a mob guy or a professional gambler, and then they just tie it back to them. And it's very easy. They just hand it off to the DOJ. That's what they do. They just hand it off to the DOJ.
It's so simple these days. They know exactly who made the bet, when they made the bet. Yeah. They can take a look at the player, doing whatever they did. They look at the text messages after. It's such a joke. And so the fact that, to me, it's you better be making a lot more than you're making at your job if you're Chauncey Billups or Terry Rozier. The last guy on the bench is doing well in the NBA. And now I understand it's not enough to keep up with the lifestyle that these guys are supposed to portray, because when you're making $10 million, that's great. The truth is, the reality of life. You're taking home $4 million of that. Yeah. And $4 million of that, you already bought yourself a house and a nice watch and a nice car, and you're already out for $3 million. And so it's nothing's ever enough, even for those guys. So I kind of get it for the Terry Rozier, almost off the edge of the bench. His career is in the decline. He got his last gasp. Can he make some money? But Chauncey Billups, man, you're supposed to be the guy who is the integrity of your organization. You're the head coach. You're a basketball Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's just incredible how they throw a whole life, and now your whole life you're only going to be known for this. And even worse than cheating on basketball is he was cheating his own friends in rigged poker games.
Yeah, they had the X-rays under the table.
That's not hurting nobody. They were talking actual friends, and they used Chauncey Billups then as a name
Yeah, but it's
to
high
get
stakes
people to show
poker
up.
games. They're legal
No,
anyway because the house is taking a cut. Chauncey Billups is worth $35 million.
But
He's
they're
worth
not
30.
bad. You can do those for charity, and I'm sorry, even the mob can take their charity cut out of that. You know what I mean? You can even do that legally. That's easy. The moment that you rig it, where all of a sudden the cards are marked and there's x-ray tables and there's somebody with an earpiece saying, oh, and you're guaranteed, and every time you have where 9 people at the table are in on it and there's only one mark. It's one thing. They used to do that with 4 or 5 guys and there's a couple guys in on it.
They're
But when you have
tournaments.
20 guys, you have the waiters in on it. There's a guy giving you your corn dog.
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
knows. And the guy's lost $7 million, one guy, in a game. $7 million.
Yeah, it's high stakes. It's high stakes poker. And Chauncey Billups is worth $35 million. Somewhere between 35 and 40 million. There's differences in the numbers there. But I mean,
how many divorces? How many divorces? Do you divide that by divorces?
Yeah. Well, no, because that's what he's worth. I mean, he pays his child support, I guess, if he. But listen, it's first of all, first thing the NBA, this is the worst possible thing for any league, because now it's like, okay, now the game's not on the level. Okay, they had Donaghy a couple of years ago, the referee fixing stuff, and he was fixing games. He was calling fouls.
And they swept that under the rug, and we know that was deeper than they said.
And they have this. They had the one with Joe. I think his name is Jones, right? He's involved in this one. He was in it. He got banned for life. The guy got banned for life. Now the guy in this one, Rozier, didn't get banned. They cleared him, and the way I said, because they have wiretaps and so they can't prove it, right? You got to be able to prove it because he's a union and everything.
The NBA is only allowed to. They can't go subpoena your text messages. They can't go make you do a deposition or
no.
But the FBI can. So the NBA is handcuffed on all this stuff, and there's nothing they can do. But you look, this is a 1 year, 2 year investigation.
Nobody to blame but themselves either. Listen, every other commercial is FanDuel, DraftKings. They have look at MetLife Stadium. He got within 200 within 3 football fields from the gate. Yeah. There's a FanDuel place at the Meadowlands at the racetrack. It's all over the place. People are gambling. The announcers just the other night, I was watching the game, the Sunday night game. This is going to matter. Whether they score or not, it's going to matter to a certain group of people.
Yeah,
the over-under is
matter.
And ESPN's got their own gambling site. ESPN yesterday, when Mike Greenberg was giving a news report about updating what was going on, they flipped to like half the screen was a 15-20 second FanDuel commercial, and they they faded out of it because that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
They cut it. It is to have both, and they even did the commercials on the lead-in. Was the FanDuel commercial on the lead-in of them promoting the whole thing, and even worse, on the same day of this scandal being dropped, they go, college football comes out, and they kind of put this under the rug because nobody really notices. They go, guess what? All the players, all the administrators, everybody involved in college athletics, you're now allowed to gamble on professional sports. Last week, they were not allowed to gamble on professional sports, and now they are. Now,
well, because remember they had the Venmo? Remember they had over the summer, people were just typing in big college players' names into the search of Venmo, and it comes up and they public, and it'd be like USC over UCLA. It'd be like the big star in Texas or something, and they're like idiots.
Yeah, and again, now you can't bet on college sports still if you're in college, and I guess same thing. Like NBA players, you're not supposed to bet on the NBA. Like we can understand you betting on other things. Like we like our athletes to be like Michael Jordan. Get in your Lamborghini, drive to Atlantic City right after the game, gamble all night, and come back. Now, he owed money to the mob, so we all know that was the first NBA gambling scandal.
He got his father killed.
They suspended him for a year. His father possibly, allegedly may have been killed through that. That had been linked together by some of the best reporters back in the day. That story didn't get legs with it after.
You can't tell them now it's okay to go bet on football and stuff like this, because first of all, they got to come down swift and hard, right? Chauncey Billups, you're out forever. You're out.
They don't care about this. Yeah, that's why they're going after
Rozier, you're out forever. Anybody else you catch, you're out forever.
But let me tell you,
like baseball.
But you look at Major League Baseball when they have the Ohtani one. So we talk about this. The FBI investigated this for 2 years, right? For this NBA one. You look back at baseball with Ohtani. You know how long that MLB investigation was? You know what the entire length of that investigation by MLB? 1 day.
Yeah, but again, they can't investigate. People are going to shut them out.
They can't, but it shows you, when it's someone who's so important,
he's got lawyers.
They will do whatever they can. No, it's not even that. They will. The actual sport and the league will do whatever they can to protect their brand, and their brand isn't basketball. It's not baseball. It's Ohtani and it's Jordan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really is. It's LeBron James, who is one of the guys who was left out of this. And if you look back and you go, no, LeBron would never do that for the money, right? But
LeBron's involved in this, though, because his buddy was selling his injury reports.
Right, and you go, wait a minute, to what level did he know? Did he have an idea of, even though he's not taking money, it doesn't mean
apparently they all go gamble, like a couple of these guys go and gamble. They have a group of people at LeBron's place.
Yes.
In the offseason, they go play poker. They play poker. And it's high, 10,000, 20,000, And Jordan used to roll dice for like $100,000 a hand.
And if you don't think in that exact moment, they look at each other and go, here we go, guys. $100,000 on whoever has the most in versus each other this year.
Yeah, probably.
Or $100,000 on whoever has this. And so there are inner bets. I'm talking at the free throw line.
I was watching something with John Sally.
You hear it.
John Sally at the free throw line. LeBron went up to John Sally or something and was like, listen, if you don't make these two, you know who's getting the ball, right? And he pulled the guy in. First time he played all game, and he hit the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
And he's like, the landlord's here to pick up the rent.
That's how it goes. And they will make bets on the spot, on the court of
I think the bottom line is,
this is
but they have to get rid. They have to get. They can't have, because now the crackpot that we all know, or the people that we see online that's sitting there telling you the NFL's rigged. It's a script. Here's the script for this. Here's the script for that. Look, I'm telling you, it's giving them credence now, because what are we going to say? Like, we know it's not scripted, but
well, Bob, the $1 million athletes, they're the ones that we know that are doing it that we never would have thought. Now, we gave them all the money so they don't do this. That's the point of giving a guy like Ohtani all the money.
You're right.
That's the point, right? And
because you would have to put a $100 million bet, and that would be flagged immediately.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even matter. But you look back and you go, that's not who I'm worried about. The integrity of the sport comes to all the guys. And let me tell you, a chunk of who did it, the Tim Donaghy's, every umpire. Angel Hernandez, you telling me he just did that on his own?
Like, you don't think he was just a bad umpire?
Yeah, right. You don't think, like, and if he was, he's an idiot. He should have got paid for it. And like, it's crazy because
they're doing it with the prop
so
bets.
much deeper. And I think that actually this new stuff that's coming in with the technology and all the other stuff will actually eliminate those guys from even having the ability to do things now. It used to be where they said it changed. A pass interference in a Super Bowl? Like, are you kidding me? You can say whatever you want. It could be a 70-yard penalty.
Yeah. You're right. But the problem is that the leagues have is now they're already in bed with these guys. All kinds of money, right? All kinds of money coming in. And like Adam Silver, NBA was the first a couple years ago to be like, you know what? We're gonna do a deal with FanDuel and more. They're gonna run commercials on our games. Like, now it'd be absurd 20 years ago to think to even possibly even bringing up the idea of having a team in Vegas. You got the Knights. You got the Raiders. They're all in Vegas now. And it's just a part of the thing. So I think what it is this is going to come and go, and there's going to be another one in 2 years. There's going to be another one a year after that, and it's just going to be the regular thing. They're going to catch these guys. They're going to ban them. But Adam Silver's the first one to have the NBA was the first one to have this with the deal with the gambling companies. And now he's sitting there in the press conference going, listen, we're going to talk to FanDuel and stuff about these prop bets and maybe, toning it down. FanDuel's not toning it down. They're making a boatload of money. They don't care.
And you know what? Do you know what their solution was?
They're laughing.
The NBA? Cap them. $100 max.
That's what the NBA said. Well,
that's what the other people are saying.
But
no,
they
don't in that way. You're not talking you can put $5,000 on a certain parlay. No, I'm talking about you can only put $100
put like
on it.
$25,000 on these parlays that can be controlled. I can't put $25,000 on the first pitch of the second inning. Because I might know the pitcher.
But the truth is that has nothing to do with it. That's not where these guys are going to make those bets. They still have the illegal gambling market. These guys were smart. The real gamblers weren't going to FanDuel when it started.
No, I think they were. I think they were.
No, they're the idiots.
Because
the real ones are going to their
the wise guys aren't taking the bets.
They do still, and that's where they go because then they can't get caught. No, I'm sorry. Regular players are making bets every game. They're just not doing it on FanDuel.
No, I think they are doing it on FanDuel. They're having their buddy do it.
I think they're even scared of that now.
It's part of it. They were straw dealers.
No, there are smart people who've been doing this a long time who are going right to whoever that guy is. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is.
If you have a guy on the Knicks,
but they want nobody to know anything.
To you,
it's about any sport.
And you're a bookie. I'm not taking the bet from him.
No, this isn't about you betting on your own team right now. I think just in general, the gamblers in the league were doing this through bookies and not through any other system because they wanted it to be private. I don't even think it's not really like you do anything wrong. Like, Ohtani was betting on soccer, whether or not it was him or Ipe. They were betting on soccer. I don't care about that at all. Not one bet was placed on baseball. Every single bet was placed on soccer. And I look over and I go, what's even wrong with that? Is that even illegal? Guess what? The answer is no. It's not even illegal. The only thing illegal about it was they were doing it through an illegal bookmaker so nobody could know. Do you know that was the only illegal part of the entire thing?
You're right. That's how you get, because the red flags go up pretty quick.
Right, and they do it to stay private, in my opinion. I don't want anybody to know I'm gambling on.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you could just have somebody out there, and they did use straw gambling.
But even then, they know your friend to friend, and then you have text messages. Though.
Yeah.
You know what
but
I mean?
they had,
it's a mess.
But they had, and like I've always said, like when you do, like they have to put caps on these bets that can be manipulated. Like let's say just for the national anthem, the length of the national anthem for the Super Bowl. There's always a bet, right? It's always a bet. It's gonna be over under 90 seconds, whatever it is.
No, you're right.
There was a guy they caught last year standing outside 3 days before the Super Bowl during the rehearsal with a stopwatch, timing it.
Of course.
So, but they capped those at like $5,000. You can't go and put $50,000 on the Super Bowl length of the national anthem, because that can be manipulated. If I'm singing it, I'm just gonna tell my buddies, hey, listen, it's under.
But that occurs in every day of sports. Every morning, the NBA wakes up. The player tells the coach, I'm available or not available. The coach at that point, there is a 4 to 6 hour window where the team knows 100% the player is not playing. They don't report it for 6 hours later. And that is the window that every sports bettor and all the people have been trying to get into their whole lives.
Because you get the odds.
Forever. They're trying to get that information their whole life. So that's always been the one golden information for every game in the NBA of, is there a superstar out in that small window before Vegas knows? And that's been the gold. And that's kind of what this was. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing much. You didn't really do anything wrong. You didn't throw a game. You just gave information that was kind of known but not broadcast yet. And it's it's a lot, you know.
But
like
you're right. They're not. It's not like the old days where like the guys, the kid in college is missing free throw. He will win. You could win. Don't win by more than 6. And he's bricking free throws at the end of the game and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore.
Let's take away the only chance we had. Nobody knew. It doesn't seem like you can catch on to it.
That's exactly right.
Do you think that this stops everybody, or you think it just stops the guys who make a lot of money? Because does it actually work?
It works because, like, if you look at, we have on the screen here, we have the games that they did. And if you see, what he did was he told people to bet the under on his totals, rebounds, points, and assists. Yeah. And he just got hurt after 9 minutes. And he was out. Yeah. He was out in the first quarter. So that's it. It guarantees it right there.
Have you seen the videos of all of his other games where he just was awful? That it looks bad, man.
Listen, there's more to it. And there's going to probably be more arrests. And there's also, if you go online and you look at like these reels on either, TikTok or Instagram or something, there are reels that people have that go, don't tell me this guy's not gambling on the game. And they show it, right? It's a meaningless 15-point game, no time left. The team turns it over. The over-under's in question. 3 points. Full 2 points.
Court.
No, not even any rushes. The guys on the bench are sitting there grabbing each other going, oh, he missed it. He made it. When there's no reason for them to be doing that.
No, it is.
They clearly have money on it.
It's a big deal. It is like that.
And like, what are they doing? Do they think no one's going to notice that? And I've seen at least 10 of those rules before these arrests even happened.
They got fans literally in their ear, 3 inches behind them on the bench, being like, "You listen, I got this. Put 10 grand. I'm going to give you 10 grand. I'm just put 40 grand on you to do this. You get 10 grand if you score 2 more points. You better get your ass back in there." And they hear it, whether or not that matters to a player or not to a player or whatever it is. These guys, you know how hard it is to say every night this guy's just going to throw 10 G's in my pocket? I don't care who you are in the world. That is very hard to say no to, especially the guys who are trying to keep up with the Joneses out there, with everybody out there on, in New York with the fancy dinners every night and the fancy cars and the fancy jewelry and the high end everything. And you go, let me tell you, if you make $10 million a year and you want to go super fancy like that, you're still tight. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff ain't cheap these days. And so it may seem like they're rich, but these guys, they will take that extra money.
So Billups was running the fake, the rigged poker games, which to me it seems like a good way to get yourself killed, right? That's like where you see these poker games, they get robbed. They put the word out to a lot of people about these games. It's not no secret.
And they were
People
all coming
find
to
out
play
about these
because of Chauncey Billups. And it was like, hey, listen, this is Chauncey Billups is playing. You guys want to play shoulder to shoulder? And I used to play in the poker world, Bob.
Yeah, but then they get there and all the pros are losing, and Chauncey Billups doesn't clearly doesn't know how to play poker.
This is a common thing as old as time when it comes to poker and everything else. Just to play in these underground clubs in 15, 20 years ago. Dave and Pete over in New York. It'd be in like an industrial park, beautiful setup. It'd be called a sports club, is what they call them. No fee. No anything. You're in the sports club. You're the only one on it. Poker tables. They cook you meals all the time. Just not you watch the game. Doesn't matter. But, they take a cut. They get raided every once in a while. But they come in and they be like,
Yeah, but a lot of times it's cops playing, right?
Right. Oh, no, 100%. That's exactly what it was. And they 24/7 this thing would run forever. Beautiful spot. So nice. But the thing is, it was like these things were... these were mob run one way or the other. They weren't like, oh my God, you're getting shot up. But these guys were going to loan you $1,000 to play tonight. If you didn't pay that money back, they're going to, they're going to yell at you and scream at you and take your money. Like, that's no joke. And that's where you get into like Chauncey Billups, man. That stuff's just crazy what he got. There's a bunch of guys on Long Island.
But also, like I was reading like Craig Carton saying, obviously he's a gambling addict and stuff. He was saying, he goes, listen, everyone is saying, oh, why is Chauncey Billups doing? He's got $35 million. He goes, it's not about the money at all.
No way.
It's about the thrill of gambling because whatever he wins, he's going to lose anyway.
No, that's a guy who's been involved in all those poker games, and he probably lost big at one of their own poker games
I saw
early.
A story one time. He won $7 million one night.
Yeah,
went home with
no
it.
doubt.
$7 million, came back the next night and had no money left after he was done.
Of course, I used to watch it all the time. That's exactly what would happen. These people weren't there to go win. There was no number that was the winning number in a night in poker that's going to make you stop playing poker.
Because you stop playing. That's what I would do, right? I win $7 million. I stop playing.
No. You go in as a worse. You show up. You show up to Vegas and you're there for 20 minutes. You win all your hands of blackjack and you're up $50,000. You're going to spend the next 4 days not... No.
I won $800 on the Giants playoff game. On the playoff game before the Giants. I wanted to stop playing. And even me, who's not a gambling junkie, got you and our buddy Frank to talk me into putting all 800 on a stupid thing. And I did it. I was like, yeah,
and then we spent another 800 on dinner.
And I did it. And I lost it all. And I spent another $400 on dinner.
And didn't even watch a game.
Because it was 35-0 in the first quarter. And I put money line Giants.
No, Bob, I used to sit at those poker tables. I used to leave the half penny at 4 a.m. I used to drive to the industrial park over on Vets Highway with Dave. We would play poker until like 7 the next night.
Well,
I played
like Holbrook?
14 hours. Vets Highway, yeah, kind of Bohemian, but more west, like when you make a left on Vets. Nice
that's right. I'm ripping down my Lanta.
Oh, that's awesome. No, but I'm telling you, like, it was the best. I was like, and I was a kid. I was 22, 23, so I like, but the cops.
But you lose it you're losing all your money, right, from the night before.
No, I'd make all the money.
I was like, classic gambler right there telling you about his
not
wins.
Like that. No, see, this is what would happen is like we were pretty well, and let's not joke around. Like Pete, we were good at poker. We didn't go in like the Stooges when we go play these games.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to play poker. I don't play poker.
Who knew how to play poker and just as well as anybody else. So you've just, it wasn't like, so we weren't losing our money. But
our friend Pete could have probably been a professional poker player, right? But Matt Vitale is a professional poker player.
And for a short amount of time, they are. Vitale is, and Pete was for a short amount of time, and that stuff's legitimate. I mean, James Caparucio went and won the U.S. Poker Championship.
Good friend of ours won the U.S. Poker Championship.
Time that I was doing that, it's just that I would lose plenty of nights where I lost. And the thing is, you've been playing versus a bunch of cowboys in terms of they would go and try and win all the money.
They have money though, right?
Right. So they'd play dumb, and so I would play smart. And guess what? You're right, except for the fact that they get lucky once in a while. So you would play perfect, and it didn't matter.
No, yeah, because you always you don't know what the next card is, no matter what.
Right. You know how frustrating that was in the world when you would
Chauncey Billups knew what the next card was.
They knew what every card was. So it's such a ridiculous. You know how easy that game is when you know what cards are. I'm sorry. That's he deserves everything that's coming to him right now.
And I think this is the kind of thing though. This is the worst fear. You've got to come down. Billups got to be out of the NBA forever. Rozier got to be out of the NBA. And you know what?
Take him out of the Hall of Fame. Take him out of the Hall of Fame. Can you remove that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it because you have to be.
I don't think I've heard that argument yet.
You have to
I don't think I've heard that yet.
I would take him out of the Hall of Fame only because here's the deal: you got to be full on. Like you got to squash this. You're not going to. There's always going to be another one 2 years down the road, but you have to squash it. You have to make it so you do this, it's over. We don't ever want to hear from you again. Nobody in the NBA will speak Chauncey Billups' name again. You know what? That's what it's got to be.
They shouldn't take you out. They just cut your head off the bust.
Because I don't think they do.
Next question: Has anybody been taken off out of the Hall of Fame?
No.
You don't know that. You tell what's there's got to be somebody did something really bad. And they were like, "I'll get him out of here."
They took Magic out of the Hall of Fame because they didn't want him spreading they didn't want the other busts to get anything. That was back when we didn't know much.
But we didn't understand it back then.
They thought that they could pass it from one bust to another, but it turns out
they kicked him right out of the league. They kicked him out of the league. Right?
They still have his rule. They still have his rule.
They
still have his rule. You better not be bleeding. You bleeding? We don't care if you're gambling, but if you're bleeding, you're out.
Yeah. Sorry. Not enough magic.
So, listen, it's the worst nightmare. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen in baseball. We saw it last year in baseball. There's going to be more of it in baseball. I think it's just part of the landscape. It's going to be one of those things that you can't, the toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in. They're not giving the money back.
And let me tell you, there's a bunch of guys, just like every good criminal, that are so far ahead of this and that'll never be caught in the ways like we already talked about.
They catch you because you got to play the game. That looks shady.
No. But in some way or the other, there's people who on a small level are betting and have someone betting $5,000 every night on the same whatever that they think is favorite. Like that's playing in the game. Like it's not a big bet on a prop of a whatever that they're going to hold out on.
No, it's the props. That's what they're getting them. The props because these players think it's free money.
It's not like some anomaly that'll show up. You know what I mean? I'm saying that like someone's making on a whatever it is, there's a player or some person out there, someone involved in an organization that's making bets based on this in a smart way that's hidden, that nobody knows about, and is so far ahead of it. There always is. There's always someone outsmarting you or more advanced in technology, and you're always catching up.
I saw a thing with who's the guy that wrote the Bo Jackson book that we had on the show? I'm blanking out on his name.
Jeff
Pearlman. He did a thing yesterday, and he did like a quick. He does these shorts. He's very political. He's very left leaning and stuff. Yeah, but he was like 5 years ago. I was walking into a supermarket to get groceries, and there was a guy standing outside. Said, "Sign the petition to help veterans." No, of course, right? Everybody signed the petition. He had 5,000 signatures on it, and at the very bottom, he's like, "Can I take a picture of it?" And the guy's like, okay, he was a little shady about it, but he goes, okay. So when he went home, he read the whole thing, and at the bottom, in the small print, in like the 15th line, it said, it turns out it was a thing to legalize gambling, and because when they legalize gambling, 0.002% of the profits go to some veterans thing. So the guy had a big thing, help veterans. Do you want to help veterans? Sign the petition. And he got everybody to sign it. And that got in. Everybody is sponsored. Mike Francesa podcast sponsored by Bet Rivers. The Ringer is sponsored by whatever. You got what's his face?
All of them.
Yeah. The what's the one with JJ Jastrzemski's on it? It's
yeah.
Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons show sponsored by FanDuel. Whatever. Go on YouTube. All of our competition, most of them are gambling shows.
Half of the reels on TikTok and on Insta and all that stuff today are generic whatever. It can be about giving a mom in the grocery store $100, but in the middle of it, they stop and do a little gamble for 3 seconds. Go, oh look, I just put an ace down on whatever, and I just won $50 on whatever the name of the site was. Has nothing to do with even sports gambling. It's just literally who's paying them to make these reels.
They are now big tobacco.
Oh, 100%.
And the kids are getting junkies. These kids are sitting there with their phone just you can gamble on anything. I can go on any time of the day. And it's funny because and some of the reels are really funny. I like the ones that I laugh every time where it's two kids sitting there, right? And they dial up a number and it says on the bottom, over under 2.5 rings for the gambling hotline. And before someone answers, they each put $100 down and they listen.
That's funny.
And it rings once, it rings twice. And then the girl answers, she goes, gambling hotline, how may I help you? It's the Gamblers Anonymous hotline. And he's like, oh, and he grabs the $100.
That's all he's saying.
It's such a great, it's funny, it's hilarious, but it's true. These kids are junkies and people throwing their lives away for it. And there's you can't win. You can't win. There's a reason why they say, take whoever you want. I'll take the other guy for however much money you want. I'll take the other guy. And the casinos are nice. I don't know any degenerate gamblers building big fucking buildings and casinos. I don't know any of them.
No. Listen, you do it because you enjoy it. It's fun. You're doing it because you think you're going to beat them or do whatever.
We used to watch sports because we like sports.
Yeah, but set your budget. I know what I like to spend on my bets, and I got my own little thing. I am willing to lose every one of those pennies that I put into that account.
I can't enjoy it. If I have more than $50 on something, I can't.
No, I don't either, and I don't bother. And that's why, like, you're never going to see. I don't think I've ever deposited more than $100.
Because that's why I lose though. Because I got to put. Because I want to make some money, right? Yeah. If I win, so now I'm betting $20 on 6-leg parlays, and I never win.
Do you think I care about me picking the Giants to win and being right? I could care less about 20 to make 20. I am looking to do something that is a surprise, and the best part of that payoff is it will also be a big payoff, for cash.
Because I think I won $400 the other day, right? I won $400 the other day. I won $75.
It's good,
but
it's good.
I looked at my lifetime, and I guess how long has FanDuel been around? That's when I've been gambling.
Yeah, say 5 years.
5 years. You know what my lifetime total is, up or down? I'm down 3,300. So even me who doesn't gamble, I've lost 3,300.
Yeah, I've been even, and then I think I was up by 1,000, and then at most down by 1,000 at some point.
What do you think you are now? You down 1,000? That's not bad if you're down 1,000. I'm down 3,300 in 5 years.
I think I was even now because I was down, and then another big because honestly I didn't really.
But there are people who will go down 3,300 in one bet.
See, but they don't ever cash out, and so the difference is when we hit those $500 ones, I cashed out the 400.
I cashed out my 400 the other day.
Yeah, and right there it makes up for like a whole bunch of deposits. And I'm never putting in more than $50.
Yeah, no.
But you're right. But it's really like that's nothing over the course of 5 years. You're saying how much you spend a day.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
It's willing. I was paying for the entertainment of gambling.
And the truth is, if you actually sat down and said, "This is a job, and I have to do this 100% for the reason of making the best bet to make money," you can be profitable in it. Not by much. I'm talking by a tiny, tiny bit. Like you can make
52%. You could. That's the best guys in the world.
But Bob,
win 52%.
If you just went every week and out of every NFL game, you chose only 2 to pick money line, and you put 100 on it. You'll do all right. You're gonna go like 75%. I had a guy last year came up to me. They were running because a lot of these housing areas, they're not supposed to, but they run. They run football pools. They run cards. Of course
they have cards.
Do.
So the guy came up to me and I was talking football with a couple of guys, and he heard me and he's like, "Yo, listen," he's like, "You know football?" He's like, "Yo, here, make my picks." So I circled who do I think I'm gonna win in the paper, whatever. I went back there the next week. He's like, "Bro, he won. I won." And he won like 100. I was like, all right. Like, that's the only time I've ever won. I'm not even getting any money.
This is how I was introduced to it. And we were so intense into football as kids. And we were like, Bob, we knew everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing now, like we have jobs and lives and we're into it with this way. But like, we used to know the intricacies of football. Like we used to talk about it all day. And my uncle, who was living with us at the time, and we go over to Scotty's pub. And we go there, and they had the football cards. And I go over, and he's like, "Here, Brad, I'm looking at the card."
Those are different lines, though, too, though. Those are
no,
bigger.
I know, but I'm like, that's the cool. And I didn't really understand it as much as it. But if you pick, if you only pick 3, your odds are only this many. But if you pick 10, and I didn't know, and I think I picked.
It's like quick draw.
9.
It's like quick draw.
No, but I picked 9 out of 10 right. But I picked 9 out of 10 right versus spread. And I don't know this at the time. And we're 10 years old or 12 years old. We were in whatever.
Back when I was that age, I could pick 70% winners. I could pick 70% winners.
My uncle came back and he made $5,000 off of 9 out of 10, like crazy picks.
Give you $20.
100. No, it was 100. I think. Solid.
Okay.
No, we talked about it up until recently when he even died. But that was like, I don't know. It was like one of those. When all you know is it, like we know guys who are so intense into gambling.
But you feel good. You felt good about it because it wasn't the money. You were like, "Oh, I could now justify myself that I know what I'm talking about."
But when I made every one of those picks, I knew I was right.
Yeah,
it was weird. Do you know what I mean? Like
when my mom would come home with the cards from her, real estate, Lisa Burns or something, and she would be like, "Oh, they're doing the cards here. Pick them for me," and she would win because I could pick 60 or 70% winners, and the other females in the office couldn't.
You were getting percentages based on how many you hit.
But you put the spreads involved, and I'm down to 40%.
It's so tough. I thought I was good until the first time I went out to Vegas, and I thought like I was like so good at football, and I remember. And I was like, I'm putting on this one. I put $100 on each game, whatever. But I'm with Dave, and I'm like, this one's a lock. And I look next to him, and he puts $10,000 on the Texans to lose when they were like their second season. And of course, the Texans played their best game ever.
Yeah.
And his line shifted where he got a point less than I got. And he lost his $10,000, and I was like, "Oh, we won." He's like, "No, I got it at 6.5." And I was like,
one time I was in Vegas, I was all excited. I was at the bar, 10 a.m. I was drinking my mimosa. I was betting on all the games. I thought I was going to do good. My wife bet like 3 games. She hit the parlay. She won like $400. I lost every game. Literally lost every game.
Yeah. Smart. Yeah. Worst thing you can do is know too much sometimes or, think you know what you're doing.
And don't even get me started on the NCAA tournaments. But all right, so listen, that's crazy. It's crazy, and you know what? They got to nip it in the bud, and you got to realize that it's just going to be something that happens now. It's shocking now because it's really the first. We're seeing the first ones. We saw the baseball get their first one. We saw the Donahue thing, and then now this. There's not like a lot of them. It's going to be an every year, every 2 year things. Are going to be picking off one or two of these guys. And also, listen, Trump and the DOJ made a big deal of it. You don't normally see Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, up there giving a press conference about a gambling investigation.
Let me tell you, there's a whole bunch of guys who've already done wrong that are shaking in their boots right now, not knowing if
they don't know.
next.
They don't know.
They already did wrong. And they all stopped. Whatever they were doing, they stopped. But they're so nervous.
Yeah. Because Diddy is the exception. Diddy got off. Diddy got not guilty. Nobody gets not guilty from the feds.
He's about to get commuted too. That's the worst.
I know. He's about to get commuted.
Don't even get me started. What's going on?
Why is Trump Trump's a racist? He doesn't like rap music. He doesn't like Diddy. No. And yet he's like, now he's like, you
honestly,
know what?
I can care less. Listen, I don't know. We're done.
We're in the Rikers. We're in the Rikers.
We're done.
All right. So that does it for us. That's your gambling scandal. Knicks, we'll do plenty of Knicks. I'm gonna get Dexter Henry on here. Hopefully this weekend. Yeah. Knicks won the other night. They look good. Not great.
The Celtics tonight.
Celtics tonight. They should win.
Listen. Yeah. No. Let's see what they do versus the Celtics.
Sitting Mitchell Robinson with load management on opening night.
We got to listen. We didn't fresh for the playoffs. Guaranteed.
You know what though? It's the NBA and
can't wait for
listen.
Summer.
David Silver's got to be fuming at that day 2. You wait till day 2 of my season to come out to arrest these guys. You know they could have arrested them a month ago. Day 2 of the season.
Needed it to be on tip-off.
You arrest my guys.
They needed it to be the morning after tip-off. They knew what the max. This was a media onslaught. They knew the maximum amount of damage that could be done.
That's why
and
Trump,
you know
I think,
why?
was about it. And don't get me wrong, these guys screwed up.
You know why? You know why they did it that way? Because the NBA gave them minimum help. They probably stonewalled them in their own way, made it difficult for them, and they could have helped them in a lot. And guess what? That's the stuff where they're going to go after you now if you don't do right by them.
Sports. Trump, think about it. Trump's mad at sports. He's mad.
No, he wants
because he wanted to buy the NFL team all those years ago, and they said, no, you're not in you're not in our club.
Oh yeah,
he had to buy the USFL, and then he went and then he's mad at all these people taking knees and this and that for the national. Trump does not like sports. So he went in, he goes after him, and he's coming. And that's one thing that Stephen A. Smith, I think, was right about.
Thank God he's a Mets fan. We're just lucky about that.
Is he a Mets fan?
He is a Mets fan. He's 100% a Mets. He's not like that since he left New York. He's not like that. But no. It doesn't even matter. It just matters that we don't need sanctions against the Mets. Like, not even a joke. Like, no, he might even help him. Be like, nah, here you go. No, I don't care what you say. Like, the next Japanese guy, that's his. He can say who goes where, probably. He can probably be like, you're going there, buddy.
Yeah. Maybe we won't deport him. So that's it. That's it on the gambling scandal. More to come. If anything breaks, we'll jump on in. We'll be right with you. We'll have all the updates. It's a black eye for the sport. It's a black eye for the gambling. The thing is, the FanDuel doesn't care. They're laughing all the way. Sorry, ha ha. Yeah. Sorry, billions.
It's like advertising.
But they pay 50% taxes. 50% on all money that comes in, and they're still making billions and billions.
They're printing dollar bills. They don't even do anything.
Problem. I think America's got a
problem.
They
don't even do anything. That's the best part. They're selling air. Yeah,
you're right. They have a website. They probably bought it from GoDaddy.
Air. They have an automatic generated revenue. They can literally type in what kind of revenue they want. They literally type into the thing, how much do I want to make today? We change the odds. They can do whatever they want.
Crazy.
We had a bad day yesterday. Make it better.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And we all bet. Everybody bets. Everybody bets.
I'm going to do it tonight. Let's do it.
You bet the Knicks.
All of it. I'm parlaying the Knicks game with the Dodgers, Ohtani home run. Straight. Of course. Are you serious, Bob?
Oh, man, we never learn. So for Brett Grasso, don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, guys, to see you never miss this gold right here. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.